Day 13 of Green Bay Packers training camp is now in the books and is the last practice before the Packers' first preseason game on Saturday versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, this was a non-padded, very, very light practice, only ran for about an hour and a half, and it wasn't even open to the public. But nonetheless, we have some key notes and takeaways to go over from today's practice, also some highlights to react to and break down during warm-ups. If you happen to be a new viewer, I'd really appreciate it if you went down and clicked the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers this offseason, and then of course heading into the season. You won't regret it. You'll find all the news you need for the Green Bay Packers right here on this channel. So diving right into the clips that we have from today's practice. In this first one, we see both Sean Clifford and Michael Pratt. A ball going to Christian Watson is the main one we're going to focus on here because in yesterday's practice, when we went over the notes and takeaways, practice ended on an interception, jump ball, Evan Williams versus Christian Watson, and Watson kind of stayed on the ground for a while, then got up and was limping a little bit, seemingly with a hip injury. Then his dad had tweeted later saying he's all okay. And that's correct, because look, Christian Watson is here at practice. Again, it's a very light practice, a little bit of a sluggo route there. Nice break on that sluggo. Light practice, no pads, but nonetheless, Christian Watson is still out here practicing, really showcasing that, hey, that injury was nothing serious. Obviously, we have cause for concern with Christian Watson. Anytime it looks like he may be injured, we kind of sit here and think of the worst, which we have the right to because of how many injuries have plagued Christian Watson's, NFL career thus far. But he looks good. He's not hurt. There's no long-term injury concern, and maybe we'll even see him on Saturday. Here's a clip of Jordan Love going through a footwork drill, then firing a ball into the net. Now, practice did end with a little bit of a Jordan Love injury scare. I don't want to get you guys worried because it was not serious. Again, it was not serious. I have a clip that'll show at the end of this video when we go over it of him walking around after practice. In team sessions, he basically got pushed to the ground, which is crazy because, no pads, red jersey, you shouldn't be touching the quarterback. So that's a little wild, and it seemed like he had just a little bit of an issue with the back of his leg. But again, it was nothing serious. Obviously, we'll wait to hear more if something does pop up, but I don't think there will. I don't think it was serious at all. Another injury update is Jayden Reed, as we see him here in this clip. He also practiced today running a quick out route to the back of the end zone. He was out of yesterday's practice with a calf injury, and Matt LaFleur yesterday said, hey, it's nothing serious. So that, again, also correct, just like Christian Watson. Nothing serious. Jayden Reed back at practice. These are good things, guys. Like, usually with Packers injuries in the offseason or in training camp, a guy gets hurt and you don't see him for a few weeks. And it's usually right after someone starts to get hot in practice and then that player gets hurt. But these are just precautionary injuries. They're likely kept out of practice for a day or two just for precautionary reasons, right? To make sure whatever's bothering them doesn't get worse. But Jayden Reed looks great here. He does have a sleeve on that right leg, so I'm guessing it is his right calf, but it looks completely fine here. Here's an awesome clip of Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley really getting some hands-on coaching with the defensive backs, teaching them some press techniques. As Packers fans, we might be sitting here going, wow, press techniques, right? It's a breath of fresh air for this defense that we're actually going to see some aggressive style defensive backs. Let these defensive backs play their game. And this is what I've been saying, this whole offseason, that I think it's going to be great for these defensive backs, Jeff Hafley becoming the defensive coordinator because he's a former defensive back coach. I think having Joe Barry on this defense was great for the linebackers because he was a former linebacker coach, but it really hurt the defensive backs. I don't think he really understood that part of the game, and he didn't allow those players to play to their strengths, right? He kind of just put them in quarters coverage and said, okay, well, we're going to be a bend but don't break defense. I think Jeff Hafley is going to be the complete opposite, and we can already see he is. And I love the hands-on coaching here. It's just great to see, the energy's here, and you can clearly see that Jeff Hafley was, a former defensive back coach. And all these guys, they seem very, very happy that he's their defensive coordinator. So those are the clips I have from today's practice. Again, like I said, very, very short practice, not open to the public, non-padded, just a very light practice, kind of a ramp up period before the preseason game here on Saturday. So now I want to dive down into the notes. There's not a crazy amount, but again, we'll dive down into also that little bit of a Jordan Love of injury scare at the back end of practice. But before we do so, here's a quick word from today's video sponsor, Sleeper. And guys, when signing up for Sleeper, make sure to go down, use the link in the description, and use my registration code BAS, B-A-S. Doing so and making a first-time deposit will also enter you in this signed Lynn Dickey Packers jersey here, which is a really cool jersey. I really love that signature there. Very clean signature. One of the cleanest signatures I've seen on a signed Packers jersey in a long time. So guys, I'd really appreciate it if you checked out Sleeper. Supporting the sponsor is supporting the channel a ton, so I appreciate that a lot from you guys. And again, use code BAS, B-A-S, on Sleeper with the link down in the description. All right, so now diving into the key notes and takeaways from day 13 of Packers training camp. Some attendance news. We already went over that Jayden Reed and Christian Watson were practicing today. You know, Watson practiced yesterday, but it came down to that last play where he potentially looked hurt, but he is fine. Jayden Reed didn't practice yesterday with the calf injury. He is back today. A new addition to the injury list is Tyron Hopper with an ankle injury, and we were just talking about him yesterday, how excited I am to see him in action in preseason. Now that probably won't happen, at least for week 1, which is a shame that we're probably not going to have both of these linebackers in the first preseason game. Edgerrin Cooper is still out with his injury. Now Tyron Hopper with this ankle injury. So kind of light on linebacker right now. I'm sure Eric Wilson and Isaiah McDuffie and Christian Welch, all those guys are going to get a ton of snaps in this preseason game. Elton Jenkins was also out today, but it was a veteran rest day, so no injury there. And today was a big rotation day for the Green Bay Packers. Through walkthroughs, through team sessions, they were rotating a ton of players into the starting offense and the starting defense. And some of the players rotated into starting offense were as follows: Tay Wicks, Ben Sims, Luke Musgrave. Kraft actually got the first start, but obviously they're rotating Musgrave in. A.J. Dillon, Andre Dillard, Jacob Monk. And then on the defense, they're rotating a lot of guys to the first team, such as Enagbare, Devontae Wyatt, Lucas Van Ness, Eric Wilson, Carl Brooks, Evan Williams, and Anthony Johnson Jr. Interestingly enough, Grant DuBose actually got the start next to Tay Wicks in the first session of team sessions. So again, just rotating these guys in. Obviously, Grant DuBose is going to get a ton of play time this preseason. Both him and Malik Heath definitely fighting for that wide receiver number 6 spot. It's a big competition right now. Both of these guys are making a ton of plays in camp. Whenever you watch the 1v1s or the team sessions, Malik Heath and Grant DuBose come up a lot in terms of making plays. More so Grant DuBose as of late, but both of these guys have made plays. So I'm excited to see them in preseason action to fight for that spot. Some of the offensive and defensive notes, again, very light practice, so we don't have that many, but some important things to note is that Jacob Monk came in for Sean Rhyan at right guard after Sean Rhyan had a false start on the first drive, and he didn't return at right guard number 1 the entire practice. He wasn't hurt. They just took him out after a false start, and that seemed very costly because Jacob Monk remained at right guard the rest of practice. We haven't seen too much of Monk at guard. We've seen him at backup center, which he's kind of struggled there, so maybe the Packers are trying to see, hey, maybe this guy can play some guard. Let's see how he does in guard, and maybe we'll see some of that during the preseason games. An offensive note is that Love hit Bo Melton with a really nice pass in the back of the end zone during red zone period. As for the defense, I guess you could say won today's practice. You know, it's non-padded, kind of light, not full speed. So if you're basing it off of that, yeah, the defense probably made more plays than the offense. Brenton Cox Jr. continues to stack success. He's had a really nice week of practice. He had a nice day of practice today. But the player of the day on both offense and defense was my main man, Carl Brooks. He had a ton of pressures today. And again, there's no pads, so it's a little bit different, and the offensive line can't block as well. But Carl Brooks has been impressive this training camp as well. And also Eric Stokes had yet another interception on Christian Watson on Jordan Love. It was a play where Love threw a ball to Christian Watson and he almost didn't see the ball and didn't know it was there, didn't make a play on the ball. So it was kind of an easy interception for Eric Stokes. So nice to see Eric Stokes continue to make plays this training camp. He's by far cornerback number 2 with Valentine not practicing right now. Then the kicker updates. Only Anders Carlson and Greg Joseph kicked today, and they both went 3 for 3. So it kind of makes sense that the Packers brought in a third kicker because they want to give Carlson and Joseph a day off, and they need a third kicker to do so if they have, back-to-back practices. So we saw Alex Hale yesterday kicking. He didn't today. So they're going to have that rotation mainly to give Carlson and Joseph days off. That's what I realized it probably comes down to, having a third kicker on this roster for this camp. And now, obviously, we have to talk about the Jordan Love issue at the end of practice, and I'm just going to bring up the tweet here by Matt Schneiderman. and read it verbatim. Jordan Love appears to be walking gingerly after getting knocked to the ground during 11-on-11. Head trainer Brian Engel playing with his left knee. Love was grabbing the back of his left leg. Appears to be very minor. I repeat, appears to be very minor. And just to kind of reiterate that, here's a clip at the end of practice. Jordan Love walking around. It doesn't look like he's favoring that left leg at all. Watching him walk around, I really can't tell, but he looks fine, right? There's no trainers talking to him or huddling around him or walking him inside the Don Hudson Center or anything of that sort. He looks fine. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, it appears very minor. Obviously, when you hear that Love got knocked to the ground and he's holding the back of his leg, that sounds awful. Like, it just sounds awful, but it seems like it's fine. It'll be a big telltale sign if, you know, he goes out there and gets a couple drives in this preseason game, but maybe just because of this, they might keep him out. I'm sure we'll get an update either tomorrow or early Saturday from Matt LaFleur if we're going to see Love in that preseason game. I still would like to see him if he can go. It doesn't appear it's an issue. I'm sure his leg kind of just got hit, maybe kicked in the back of the leg or something of that sort. It doesn't appear bad at all. I don't even see him limping at all. But that does it for all the practice highlights and updates from day 13 of Green Bay Packers training camp. They're off tomorrow ahead of course, the preseason game on Saturday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like down below. It supports the channel a ton. I appreciate all the endless support, all the new subscribers. Thank you guys so much. But I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. And as always, go Pack Go.